Have you ever had something taken away from you? Something that was just so essential, something normal, something that you take for granted. Yeah? Well, we did too. Anybody know anything about the 1739 Stono Rebellion? A little bit. Okay, well, in 1739, Africans, enslaved Africans, we call ourselves African Americans now, we rebelled. We didn't just go silently into the night. All right? A lot of vigor, a lot of anger, a lot of rising up. That's what we did. We rebelled. We took to the streets and what has become the bloodiest, goriest slave rebellion in U.S. history. Ultimately, it wasn't successful because in 1740, the state of South Carolina, and soon after that, the neighboring southern states, they enacted what we call the Negro Act, 1740. That act is the thing that took away most of our basic human rights. We know that during enslavement period, it was a crime by law, punishable by law, to read a book, to write, to own literature, to assemble in groups. To assemble in groups. It became against the law to assemble in groups. This is crazy, all right? And this is the law that took our drums away, okay? Now, what are drums? That's that thing that was so essential to us. It was just normal. It was every day. Now, Jason Nious, I've personally had the opportunity to travel to 13 of the 54 different African countries in my lifetime as an artist, mostly to festivals, but a lot of times I'm there for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I got to sit, at least for a couple of weeks, immerse myself in the cultures. And what I've noticed, drumming is across the entire continent of Africa. It is so essential. It's kind of like breathing. It just is. That's what I've noticed. So, let's come on back to South Carolina. When they took our drums away, it's kind of like they knew what they were doing, right? You take that central spine and you take it away, and what does the rest of the body do? Aha, plot twist. We became resilient. We started imitating the drum on our body. We put the bass in our feet. We put the treble in our hands. Those hi-hats up here with the snaps, them little mouth pops, right? Early on, early forms of African-American percussive dance, it looked like ham bone, yeah? It looked like the patting juba. Yeah? It looked like early forms of tap dance called the buck dance. It looked like when we were sent away during the world wars and put on the front line, and we come back and we started adding military marching drills because we saw the uniformity, right, that gave us. And so all of these influences you can see inside of modern stepping from African-American fraternities and sororities today. Aside from all of the jazz and the musicality and the influence of throughout all of the 1900s of how we continue to change popular culture, right? These are the formations. And if you just remember, 1739, that Stono Rebellion, 1740, when they took our drums away, that's the spark. That's why we do what we're doing right now. So my company, Molati, we go all over the world. We tell our story through percussive dance because it is a story. It's a deep, rich history of the resiliency of African Americans in this country. Yeah? Stepping reminds us who we are. Stepping reminds us where we've been. These men and women are merely players who understand the sentiment of their instrument and what it was meant to play. Let us play. Did we forget how to play and who played before us? Until we are in tune again, there is a lack of unison. We don't even sound like we used to. Off beat, off key. Once, we were bold instruments gathered in cadence and fought, rejected status quo of thoughts of how we ought to be played. Once raisins in the sun, we've become very strange fruit. Without any assistance, we tie the noose. Without any assistance, we lynch our instruments, choking out our unique symphony of sound and color. Without any assistance, we hang in the distance, no longer playing, but allowing ourselves to be played. Let us play with instruments that carry notes and rhythms of an intimate spirituality that still boasts of cultural duality. See, we play both the iambic pentameter of Shakespeare and the verbal runs of Sean Gay. Let us play in the keys of we are more than beatbox. We are bebop, jazz, blues, acoustic, cabaret, baroque, and acid rock. Rock, 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 rock. Let us play in the keys of Amiri Baraka, who demanded poems that kill. Now we command our instrument to do the same. Kill the noise. Never again to be told who we were, but to remember who we are. We are men and women who are merely players, understanding the sentiment of our instrument and what it was meant to play, meant to be. So let us play. Rejoice, reverb, reprise, resonate. Let us be revolution, renaissance, rebirth of a nation, rededication to the men and the women who played before us. Give me some more.
Jason Nious from Melody.
Thank you, guys.